Temporary foreign workers account for 19% of Canada's private sector workforce. And this is a huge problem for multiple reasons. Let's break the economics of this down. First off, don't say anything racist, because that's not the problem. And listen, you can blame Trudeau all you want, but Carney is lowering immigration numbers. So right now we currently have about 3 million temporary residents in Canada. 1.5 million of them are work permit holders and 640,000 of them are study permit holders. These last two numbers I don't really care about. Family members and asylum seekers, not my concern. And just for perspective, Ontario alone has over 500,000 international students. And this is because Doug Ford cut funding to colleges and universities and they were forced to go to international students in order to stay in operation. So what are the economic impacts of this? You're seeing a lot of young people, a lot of new grads, a lot of university students unable to get jobs. Why? Because there are so many temporary foreign workers in those roles. Here's the thing. This is not blaming immigrants. This is not blaming other people for this problem. This is the free market at work. If you as a private sector employer can pay a domestic Canadian $17 an hour, or you can pay an international student $15 an hour, who are you going to hire? So we shouldn't be bringing in temporary foreign workers at all when there are domestic Canadians who are willing to do those jobs. And guess what? If domestic Canadians aren't willing to do those jobs, then that means that the wages are too low, which once again is not a failure of government, but a failure of the private sector. If 20% of private sector jobs are going to international permit holders, then that means that the private sector is shortchanging Canadians by 20% of roles. When unemployment is hovering around 7%, you cannot say that there are not Canadians willing to do that work. They're just unwilling to do that work at the low wages that you want to pay them. And in a fair supply and demand capitalist society, you should not be able to import workers from other countries and abuse them for low wages. And that's why I say time and time again, you can be against the amount of international students we have and the amount of immigrants that we were bringing in and not have it be a right-wing racist thing. There are very much left-wing socioeconomic arguments for lowering immigration numbers. But if the government doesn't start to address people's concerns, they are going to start making the lowest common denominator arguments. They are going to start thinking and saying racist things, and that is going to lead us to a very, very difficult place politically.